Warning, this podcast contains...
No, it's fine, Dom. You can do the show if you really want to. It's fine.
But it feels so sweet.
Easy street.
That's the creepiest lag out John's ever had, and I love it. Easy shit. Like,
hello, everyone, and welcome to the As Seen on TV podcast for The Walking Dead, Season 7, Episode 11, Hostiles and Calamities. Dom is both of them right now. I'm Clio. We have John and Dom.
Hi. How's it going?
Better before
Yeah?
that song ever existed.
I don't know why you hate it so much. It's almost as if you were
What's the
Daryl.
problem? What's the problem?
It gets stuck in my head so I hate it more than the Cards for Kids song.
Wow.
I would rather have Cards for Kids stuck in my head.
Wow.
Which I now do. I don't know how I feel about that. Okay, anyway. I like this episode. I didn't think I was, because I thought it was just going to be a repeat of the stuff we saw.
Oh my god, this episode just, like, snuck up, like, in the middle of the episode, just decided that it was going to go in an amazing direction, and I was just like, okay,
yeah.
I'll take this. I'll take every second of this.
Because I was afraid it was going to be, we're going to see what, Eugene's gonna see what Daryl saw, but we get like a totally different side of the Saviors compound,
yeah.
Because of they're treating him differently.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have to break him in the same way they had to break Daryl, or had to try to break Daryl. They gave him a nice room
With beer.
And pickles.
Yeah, very large jar of pickles.
For a man that loves pickles, he ate very few of them.
I'm
As in,
pretty sure he's
none?
stressed. He ate a half of one. He took a bite out of one.
I'm curious if the actor who plays Eugene actually does not like pickles, and that's probably why, but he had a whole jar and ate half a pickle, and then we even get to see what happens the next day after he gets the pickles. It's a full day later, and it still looks like no pickles were eaten out of that jar.
Yeah.
They could have just, like, removed a few pickles from the jar and made it seem like he ate some, but no. No.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it might have been a test the water, see what he could get out of it, because his first reaction was I can ask for anything, lobster. You fucking crazy?
And what really, I'm assuming you didn't have time to watch Talking Dead, and what his, like, I forget the actor who plays Eugene, but he was on there, and he said that usually Gimple likes to hide, like, little things into the thing that have a lot more meaning onto it, and they were talking about the lobster, and how back in the early 1900s or something like that inmates used to get fed lobster, nothing but lobster, and
wow.
that was a punishment back then.
What? Because
lobster is actually considered the cockroach of the sea, and
okay.
The prisoners used to complain, lobster, whatever, we were forced to feed this. And they actually repealed, and they didn't have to eat it for, whatever. They started getting other food and stuff like that. So Eugene is the actor who plays Eugene thinks that, like, that's why Eugene asked for lobster, because he's trying to punish himself. So he brought that to their attention and was like, no, it's just because lobster's really expensive, and Eugene thought he could ask for anything. So he was sitting there looking for, like, a hidden meaning into it, and there wasn't any. And it's just, It was really funny.
Yeah, it looks funny.
So I'm gonna be the asshole here, and I hated this episode.
Oh, why'd you hate it?
Fucking stupid.
Really?
Because we didn't learn anything other than that Eugene's still an asshole.
Yeah.
We didn't learn anything. It was the same
We-
Negan, the same rules that we learned with Daryl. It was the
That's true.
same.
Well, because
fucking-
a lot of
like,
people, are like,
this-
we need a Eugene backstory episode. Like, a lot of people have been asking for this to see what Eugene was like before the apocalypse, and they kind of said what this episode is basically what Eugene was like before the apocalypse.
So
that-
almost the same, minus the video games.
that he just kind of, he was intelligent, he manipulated people, and he sat around playing video games all the time. That they're
like-
saying that's pretty much what he did.
But I'm realizing I don't actually like Eugene that much.
Yeah.
Like after this episode, because for a while I was kind of like, "Oh, poor guy." And now I'm like,
Mm.
"No,
No.
I care
Yeah.
about you."
But
But like, and so my thing was like, at least with the Daryl episodes, we learned how the Savior's compound worked, right? Like we learned a lot of information about how Negan operates, how like the people respect him, the hierarchy, the point system, and all that stuff that they just rehashed for Eugene this episode, and I didn't really care for that part.
well, the big question is Eugene actually becoming one
Does
of the
Bruno-
saviors, or
It's gay.
is this something that he's manipulating them?
I don't know. Well,
I don't
he
care.
could be manipulating them and becoming one of them. They could be both.
Mm-hmm.
I don't give a shit either way. That's the problem.
Yes.
I mean, I'm sorry.
All aboard the
I didn't
don't
want,
give a shit train.
but like, it was. I feel like this was the same problem they had earlier in the season, where it was like, we have the episode about Tara, and then we have the episode about like this minor character and
Yeah.
that minor character, and like,
But this was more about the saviors, I think, than it was about Eugene.
I'll give you that.
That
And more than Eugene. Before I forget the Dwight stuff.
You're not. Don't worry. You won't
Oh,
forget. 'Cause
wow.
I'm going to bring it up.
Gee, Dwight seems like he's a person. Nope. Never mind.
No. Yeah. Never mind. Take
Just-
that back.
Undid all that. Thanks, guys.
Well, see,
I
don't know if it was
that
that.
is why I'm going further in the direction that Eugene is playing this part up, and that he is manipulating the system here, because Dwight almost did the exact same thing this episode, right? We had Dwight.
Yeah.
We find out that Dwight this whole time was actually a lot like Daryl, right?
Yes.
So
The
we're finding
pre-
Dwight's backstory here. We're finding what Dwight was like before the apocalypse, kind of like we're finding what Eugene was like there. The parallels between the two are very, very similar this episode. And by seeing like the kind of person that Dwight is, and then seeing like he's protecting his wife, right? Something that he hasn't been able to do this whole time. He went there. He told Negan that he killed her, right? To throw her off the throw Negan off the trail to go find him, right? He said Negan's like, well, I'm gonna look, and if she's out there, then I'm gonna take it out on him. But the way Dwight did it, he made it seem like there was a lot more to it, and there was all this stuff, and that she betrayed not only Negan but Dwight. So it gave Dwight a reason to kill her, right? Which he didn't do. And
Yeah.
so doing all that and setting up what Negan did by throwing the doctor into the furnace means that Negan trusts Dwight, right? So fully gained Dwight's trust back, right? So Dwight was playing up this role to protect his wife, right? That's not really being a dick. Like, yeah, he took it out on the doctor, right? Yeah, but
Doctor wasn't a great person either.
he
But
wasn't.
he was a
wasn't.
nihilist, and that's fun.
Yeah.
We're missing the point.
But it shows you that Dwight actually is not brainwashed into I am Negan. Like, Dwight
No.
still has his own thoughts. He's
Well-
still protecting his family. He's a lot deeper than the character that we thought he was. So I feel like this episode actually did quite a lot for who Dwight is, and made me look at him a completely
So-
different way.
Let me back it up a little bit. So I know, I agree with you. Here's the problem. I know what Dwight does in the comic, and it's fucking bothering me that they're taking this long to get to it. That's what's killing me right now.
Okay.
It's like, guys, we've had 2 episodes for Dwight.
It's true.
Can we move it along a little bit? Are we doing this or not? Like,
Yeah.
if you, I won't say it, but if you knew, it would bother you too.
I want to know. Tell me later.
Okay. So, and again, I get it. Dwight, he's like, he feels for his wife. He still loves her. We know. He doesn't sleep at night. He's not a bad man.
He is a bad, but that's the point, though. He is a bad man, and that's who he is now. And the note from Sherry was sort of saying, I see you're a bad dude now, and that's my fault. I wish I didn't push you to that. Like, it was almost her saying, I wish I had let you die, the good man you were. So it's not that...
I'm better off.
Yeah. See, seriously. I think he really would have been better off.
Well, yeah. So, all right. And then, so we have Dwight kind of, I don't know, back at square one almost. But we get some emotional stuff with him. Fine. Great. But, like, the Eugene thing, I don't know. I didn't think this had to be an episode. That's really what it is. I feel like this could have been a skip. Because that Eugene thing could have been, like, a reveal for when, like, the good guys get to the compound and they see Eugene is like, I am Negan. That would have been cooler.
You know what? That would have been, I would have liked that.
It would have been cooler, but we would have been like, what the hell is going on here?
Right.
Yeah, but
good.
then
That's a
have
good
the
thing.
flashback.
Yeah. That's a good thing. I want to be like, what the fuck is going on here? Because that makes a good show. Because I would have believed it, and I would have wanted to know. They did it this way, and I didn't want to know.
But see, I think what it is here, they're trying to make us think that Eugene is Negan, and he's accepted all this, when in reality, that this is Eugene playing them. I think they want us to accept that he, he's got his video games, right? He gets to play video games. He gets company. He gets people to pay attention to him. He gets to manipulate this. He loves it here. He's not going to go back. That's what they want us to think. And then they're going to flip the script, and Eugene's going to turn on them.
Okay, so you think that Eugene's playing them to then help Alexandria?
Yes.
I think Eugene's playing them for Eugene. I think Eugene's looking at Alexandria like, Rosie's not my friend anymore. She's being a bitch,
See, that's exactly what I think the show wants us
Abraham
to
is
think.
dead.
I think that's the show. I don't think that Eugene forgives Negan for killing Abraham. There's no way.
No, definitely not.
There's no way. So there's no way he's going to accept this.
He's playing both sides against the middle. Like, he's not. I don't think he cares. I don't know.
I don't think for one second.
I
think the whole reason for this episode was to put us in conflict of where Eugene's allegiances lie. And I do not think they lie with the Saviors when it comes down to it. When push comes to shove, I think he 100% aligns with Alexandria, and he's going to flip script and turn on them. The best way for Eugene to be safe and protected right now until he has a plan to escape or until Rick comes to get him is to play house. He's got to play nice. He's got to play along. And he's going to manipulate it and everything he can by his system, because that is their system. They're showing him, take whatever you want. That's what you do, right? So now he's taking it, right? He's doing exactly what they told him to do, right? So he's playing by their rules now. Right? He's not doing... He didn't take it upon himself to just, I'm taking this, I'm taking that. No, he was told to do this stuff. Right? So he's playing them. He's playing exactly into their rules. He's manipulating their system, taking every single shortcut that they possibly can offer through their own system. He realized that there's so many people that come in like him, that new management positions, all this stuff. He exploited that right away, and you saw how quickly it worked. He's very, very smart. He knows this. And he also knew that Negan's wives with the sleeping pill, the poison pill.
I knew that.
Right?
For what it's worth.
And Eugene 100% did the right thing by not giving them this pill. Because if he did, and Negan found out, and it didn't do...
it would go back to him. Yeah. So
He 100% did the smart thing there. And by telling them, hey, you go and tell him, I'm just going to tell him what you guys are doing, and he's going to believe me over you because you guys are replaceable and I'm not. And he's also correct. So he's in a spot where he doesn't have to worry right now. He's solidified himself in a role that is so great that until the time comes when Rick needs them, then he's set for right now. And yeah, he's gonna live it up. He's gonna lounge out. He's gonna do whatever he can until that time comes when he gets put into the predicament of choosing between Rick and the Saviors. I guarantee you, they're gonna make it into this big struggle turmoil, and it's gonna make it seem like Eugene has sided with the Saviors, and Eugene is gonna be the Carol of this season, and he's gonna come back and he's gonna save them. I'm telling you.
I'm sorry. That's funny because he never will be.
He's gonna.
He's not going. Well, maybe he might blow something up, but he's not. He's not going to be the Carol. Like, he's not going to pull a Terminus.
No.
No.
They got an inside man now. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, but Carol wasn't an inside man for Terminus.
Carol builds up all these roles, and she hides herself in plain sight, and makes her seem like something she's not. And that's exactly what Eugene is doing here.
But that would mean Eugene would have to become physically fit.
I'm not saying that he's going to start running through the compound being Rambo. That's not what I'm saying. He's going to use his intelligence to do it.
Well, the big difference is, like, he's actively beefing up their defenses for them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, and granted, he might be doing that for survival purposes, so, like, Negan doesn't fucking kill him. But
well, what exactly was his solution to fixing the zombies? Right? What was
giving
that?
them molten helmets and fusing them with molten metal to the chain link fence.
Yeah.
You know what that does? That makes them stationary now.
Well, the ones that are on the fence were already stationary.
Hmm.
The ones that are on the chain are now just fused to the chain. So they're still in a line. They're just more secure to the chain. It's not just running through their guts. It's fused to their bones.
Yeah, so...
And he's given them molten helmets, which, as we saw with Montgomery, what the hell?
Yeah.
Is difficult to deal with.
Yeah.
The guy with the health bar.
Yeah.
But it seems like you're gonna stick it to the fence and you're gonna cover it in molten metal. Now it can't move its arms, it can't move its body, it can't turn its head. It is literally stationary.
They're not covering the whole zombie with molten metal. They're fusing part of it. Because the zombie they showed that ripped in half, it was stationary to the wall, it just had spikes through it.
Hmm.
So it wasn't going that far. Anyway.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, and that's whatever. I mean, that's really neither here nor there anyway for what I was saying. But, like, so we know, like, he was taken because he can make bullets. So at some point, he's going to be making the Savior's bullets. So, again, we don't know if this is by choice or not, because you don't really know if he wants to do it. But what we know of Eugene is that he's someone who will utilize the situation to his full advantage and will lie to anyone to get what he wants.
Which we found that him bringing up the Human Genome Project.
Yeah.
Right, that chungus of a thing. So, great, yeah. Eugene's back to his old ways. So, it would take a lot for him to want to give that up. He is a comfortable bastard, and my God, if he doesn't like his comfort, because
I agree with you, John, but for my logic for why I think that this is going to go the complete opposite way is for the exact reason you said. We've already seen this with Eugene, right? So if we've already seen it, and then they show it again, that would make it unnecessary. It's redundant. So the fact that they're showing it again is emphasizing to me that this is what we want you to think, and we're gonna go a different way.
I hope so, because it would be really dumb if they didn't at this point.
Yeah.
Like, I would be furious if they didn't do that, because, like,
Oh, yeah.
it's so, like, I'm so done with him as it is. He better redeem himself at this point,
That's what I'm
because
saying. They have to. There's no way that
he needs to have a spine. I mean, what use does he have to the show at that point, you know?
The mullet.
Right.
Which,
You ever
for the
green
record,
mullet?
I didn't know that the actual mullet is real. Like,
Oh, yeah, he grows a mullet every time he has to play Eugene.
yeah, I thought that was a wig hairpiece thing. That's his
No,
real
no.
hair.
Real mullet.
God bless him. I wouldn't do it.
I wouldn't either.
No.
Not enough money in the world to have a mullet.
You also get to see, and I'm not doing this just to annoy Clio, but mentioning Easy Street again, you get to see the comparison with Daryl. It was used as a torture device, but with Eugene, it was like, look at the smile on his face when he was listening to this song. Like, yeah, music. Like, you know, when was the last time he heard music? You know?
He did fix up a radio for the Saviors. So.
I thought they had a record player at Alexandria.
They might have.
Maybe.
Who knows who? I mean, who knows who used it?
They had a lot of
but,
stuff in Alexandria.
Yeah.
But before the Savior's broken,
Yeah.
it's all broken now. They have nothing.
I don't know. I just wish there was more momentum in this episode, is all. Because I'm gonna watch next week, and I'm gonna wait for moments where I can say, could they have cut this episode in with that episode? Because I have a feeling it's gonna work out like that.
I feel like there was a lot this episode, though. I really do.
Well,
I don't feel like it could have
ran
been
long too.
I don't feel like it's something that could have just been spliced in between. Like, I don't. There was way too much with, like, maybe if you cut all the Dwight stuff out and you were just focusing on what happened with Eugene, maybe. But even that was a lot. Like, you know,
Dwight was a small part.
Yeah, exactly. And it still, I think, had a major impact on my opinions of Dwight and everything. Reserving what I don't know about Dwight, you know, aside, which I don't actually want to know. When we get to that point, I would like you to be like, this is what I was talking about, so I know what you're talking about. But the whole Eugene stuff, and like I said, it wasn't just about Eugene, though. It was about, we finally get to see how the Saviors are actually living, and not the way we thought they were living.
I feel like, also, the only definitive thing we got this episode was that it wasn't Jesus who left that note and left the door unlocked for Daryl. It was Sherry.
Right.
Which I think that I thought it was Sherry, and then
I thought it was Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't really know what I thought it was, to be honest. And I don't know if Dwight's memory issues are going to play a role in anything coming up, because she mentioned, you know, that he has a hard time remembering things and stuff in the letter. I don't know how strong that is. Yeah, I don't know. Like,
did she mean, like, you literally have, like, a bad memory, or, like, you don't remember who you are kind of thing?
Both?
Yeah, I think both, actually.
I feel like the whole thing with Dwight, all of him finding the letter, the whole thing with Sherry, it was to solidify that he is a bad dude. Like, he was a good guy. He can't remember that anymore. That's, I think, we keep making fun. He wants to become Daryl. He doesn't want to become Daryl. He wants to remember who he used to be. He can't remember that anymore.
Yeah.
And so now he's just given up remembering. I think that was the whole thing with the doctor, and, you know, kind of saying, I killed Sherry.
He tried to bring the beer and pretzels.
I think that was him giving up remembering too, because he just left them and left. Especially since Sherry wasn't there,
Yeah, and in the note she mentioned that she was there, and the reason why she wasn't there is because of all these reasons. And then he still left that stuff anyway, like she's gonna... Did he just forget what the note said? Like, she's not coming back for that stuff.
I think that was symbolic. He left that to leave everything behind.
Maybe.
because he, I don't think he was gonna want to bring it back to the Savior's camp.
I don't think this is the last we've seen of Sherry.
Oh, hell no. We just gotta roll the dice and see which place she's gonna show up at first.
That's what I was about to ask. Which camp do you think she's gonna end up in?
I think the hilltop's closest. So.
Yeah.
I think. I have to look at the map, but it seems like it's the closest.
And then, like we had last week, how the episode ended with Daryl leaving. Right? We don't really know where Daryl was going, what his plan was. We just know he has a crossbow and he left. And knowing that Sherry's the one now that left Daryl out, who's to say that Daryl's not going to run into Sherry before he makes it to any camp,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That
Probably. I would.
And then I could do mouth stuff.
No.
Yes.
No, Clio wants that reserved for Daryl and Carol.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, they're friends. They're like old war buddies at this point.
Pretty much.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
I don't know. I just can't wait to see when Daryl's lie catches up to Carol.
Yeah,
that
would be good.
I think it's going to destroy her.
I think she'll understand why he did it. But it's still going to hurt.
But I also think she'll turn into a murderous psychopath.
Joey?
Oh, I'm sorry. What's that? You wanted to put the Saviors down? Let me blow up their compound. I'm on it.
Back in 10.
They're dead. Okay, great. Good job.
Yeah, while Eugene's playing with dish soap and bombs.
I appreciate he was humming.
The William Bell, what is it, the 1812 Overture?
Yes. Isn't that so funny? All I could think of was V for Vendetta.
Oh, that scene was great. And then they replicated it.
Was so weird. He had such an odd, deadpan while he was doing all of that. And even while, Frankie was giving him a hug, he was just like...
He, made a grunting noise every time they touched him.
Because he fears erection. Because he'll get his head bashed in with an axe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean...
But they had Dwight, they had Eugene, and they had Little John on Talking Dead, and they actually repeated this experiment that Eugene did, and actually made these explosions on the Talking Dead. It was hysterical. They did it with food coloring and stuff like that.
Yeah,
fantastic.
I am really surprised that the guard only ran out when he heard them the first time, and didn't run out when he heard the fucking explosion.
Yeah. It's fine. We're fine here.
Yeah, it's fine. No matter what you hear.
Yeah.
We're just blowing up the fence. Don't worry about it.
It's blowing up the whole compound.
Yeah.
That's what you're going to see. You're going to see the entire compound turn into a foam factory. Eugene's going to drop that whole thing into the furnace.
God. That would be funny.
And then you're going to see people get
also
pushed
really
out
do anything.
with just suds and people just flooding out the doors. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah. I feel like I have to mention the Quimbly Gunk.
Yeah,
That's that little...
and I want that and this fly swatter, and I'm going to call this
I don't know what this is,
Quimbly
but
Gunk.
I'm going to call it a Quimbly Gunk. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, this is, I think if... He's definitely on a power trip. There's no way he's not.
Yeah. Oh, I agree.
We might get Darkest Timeline, Eugene.
Yeah, I
don't care.
I'm glad he's asserting himself.
But what?
Gold star, but stop it.
But you don't care? Is that what you're getting at?
Yeah. Honestly, I think the best part I liked was it wasn't too Negan heavy.
But Eugene is Negan.
It's true. He was really quick on the I've been Negan since before I met you. I just needed to meet you to confirm it. Wow,
yeah.
Eugene.
See, and
think about it.
That right there is what makes me think
Kind
that
of has been.
Yeah, but that right there is what makes me think that like Eugene's really playing them, too.
Yeah, I'm not arguing that he's playing them. What we argued about was the reason.
No, I know, but I'm just saying for Alexandria is when I'm talking about it. I'm talking about for Rick's group.
Mm-hmm.
He's playing them for Rick. That is 100% what I believe.
Yep, I don't know. Not quite sure I believe that, but next episode is called Say Yes. The group scavenges for supplies back in Alexandria. Someone must make a morally challenging decision. Gee, I wonder what that could be about.
Not Eugene. It's too soon.
No. Plus, it says back in Alexandria.
Yeah, exactly.
Eugene.
We only have 5 episodes after, right? These next ones are our last 5, so.
Yeah, 5.
Coming down to the wire. Yeah. But I don't know, you guys still watching the Fear the Walking Dead's little thing in between?
Oh no, I can't watch 30 seconds of a plot. I have to wait until it's all out.
Okay.
I can't do it.
Yeah, I guess I missed parts of it.
Yeah, I think I missed parts of it too. I think some of it was going on when it was on break or something like that.
That's stupid.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure, but I definitely missed some chunk somewhere because I ended up in some tunnels or something. That's all I know. But the scene that they showed this week was actually fantastic and really has me excited for Fear the Walking Dead. But it seems like they said Fear isn't coming back until June. I think they said.
Okay.
That makes sense.
They're not doing what they did last season, or am I just remembering falsely? Didn't Fear start as soon as Walking Dead ended, and then its mid-season went on, and it came back just before Walking Dead?
It started as soon as Walking Dead ended.
Yep.
They had a long hiatus in the middle.
Yep.
And then they came back just in time to, once it was over, start Walking Dead.
Right.
This feels like they're starting a little later, so the hiatus is not as long, and they can keep the viewers through the whole season.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because I think they lost a lot of viewers halfway through last season.
Because I remember it stopping mid-August, and then not coming back till October.
Yeah, it was a long time.
Yeah. To be honest, I kind of preferred that format. I liked it when it ended right after Talking Dead. We had some going, and it felt like a half season. It felt like a full season, but in terms of Walking Dead, it was 8 episodes of the half season. It felt like a complete story arc, and then they went,
it did.
On a thing. So it seemed like, this is their mid-season, finale, and then some time goes by, and then we get more of the story. And I really liked that, and I felt the pacing was actually really good on it. But I could definitely understand how other people are frustrated with that. I totally get that.
And for people who aren't fans, keeping up with such a long hiatus is hard.
Yeah. I know 2 other shows off the top of my head that follow that weird format, and that was Warehouse 13, and the last couple seasons did that. They had 6 months between their mid-season, and then 2 months between their seasons, and it's what is going on? That made absolutely no sense to me. Other show that does that is Pretty Little Liars, but that's ending very soon. And they both follow that format, and that makes the show so hard for me to follow. Because they're in the middle of a plot. They both did it where it was in the middle of a plot, where the way that Fear did it felt like closure. It felt like 2 separate seasons almost, and I like that,
And I think a lot of shows that are following the mid-season hiatus formula are doing that, are giving it a a bit of a wrap up before they move on. You know,
Yeah.
before they give you the break. So you're coming up. So you're coming back to a not a cliffhanger.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's all we have for this episode. I don't know. I'm just excited to see how this fucking season ends because it's been too much for me.
It's been a very strange season. It's very
For sure.
It's very untypical for not just for any show, but especially for The Walking Dead. You know, Walking Dead's pretty off kilter anyway, and this is just even for them. This is insane what they've been doing this season.
Mm-hmm. So John, where can people find you?
You can find me probably 5 seconds in the past at No More on Twitter.
Actually, not that far off.
Dom, where can they find you?
You can find me down below at Phenomenon, PHENOMEDOM.
Phenomenon. And you can find me at Clio Moto. Just Google it. And you can find all of us at ASOTV Podcast on Facebook, Twitter, Gmail, Google Plus, and right here on YouTube. Follow us for some more podcasts from some of your favorite TV shows and all the things. Bye. Good night.
Bye.
Good night.
Good
I
night.
can't.
You didn't even notice last episode, instead of coughing, I sneezed through the intro. You didn't even notice that. I had a legit sneeze. I went, space. I said it just like that.
No, you're right. I didn't notice that. Ow.